Here it is. We're ready to get into another one. Yep, another edition of Inspirations with Carmina. I'm excited about my guest today. Her name is Veronica Brown. She's got some brand new music that's going to bless you and bless you real good. So let's get into it. It's Inspirations with Carmina. It's another edition of Inspirations with Carmina. I'm so happy to be here with you, and I've got another beautiful guest checking in with us, Miss Veronica Brown. How are you today?
I'm fine, Carmina. It's so good to be here, and thank you for having me.
Now you looking good. That COVID-19 must have skipped your house because you're looking all good and prosperous over there.
Are you kidding me? No, it didn't skip my house, but it's here. I'm just being blessed. God has just been good to me, and so I'm just glad to be here. So it's been good. Yeah, it's been tedious at times, but it's good.
Yes, we've all had to make some adjustments and shift our lives to be able to make sure we're staying in and staying safe. So here's a question I've been asking everybody, and I wanted to ask you, is there something that maybe during this time you've had to stop and kind of look at yourself and say, you know what, I didn't even realize that was something I was facing or challenged with, or that was even something that I did. Was there something that you recognized about yourself during this time?
I think so. My challenge was I had no idea I was standing so close to people. You really don't realize it because you out, you about, and you just saying, excuse me, and you're going through your day. But when this happened, everything changed. Hold on one second. I'm a little too close, and so I try not to put it on the other person. I always check me,
Right.
and I'm still trying to adjust, but I'm getting used to it, and I try not to get close to anyone and just stay away. So that has been my challenge, but it's coming along just fine now. Even with my loved ones, my family, I say, oh, when they come up, I say, why are you here?
Right.
So I really got into it. Why are you here? Okay, can you
Exactly. And that's the way we have to be right now, though, just to be safe. I know for myself, I have a bad habit. My hands are always on my face. And so
Yes.
I'm consciously learning to keep my hands away from my face.
You really have to take a check with your hands,
Yep.
You gotta say, okay, and you're holding them because you want to make sure it's here. Okay, it's not there. Or I will touch myself someplace else to make sure I'm touching myself, not in the wrong spot.
Right. But this is definitely a change in season, and it's probably going to be our new norm. I mean, we aren't going to be able to go back to things the way that they were. So I've been just asking people that because it's really given us some time to really look at ourselves and see things a little differently. So for you, as you have an amazing career and you're also an artist, are there things that you want to do differently now? Like I said, having had this time to kind of sit back and look at things a little differently, are there some things you want to change in respect to those two items?
Yeah, I was looking forward to. I like to move around.
Okay.
I like to travel a lot, but now I'm really. I'll still do travel because of my work, but at the same time, I prefer to do what we're doing today. And that's something I have to get used to because when I do live television, I'm going into the studio. I'm going to the radio station. And so so when they say, okay, you got to do, here at home, I said, okay. So how's that going to work? I'm not a techie, so I had to adjust to that. So that's things that I will have to change, but I still looking forward to doing things live. And but that's gonna be, I'm sure it's gonna be down the road. So I'm patient for that. God is good. Give me patience. So I'm very patient for that. So but that's been a change, not having to go out so much and travel so much, as far as what I want to do in my career.
Right, right. And that's the thing that people don't realize, because when you release new music, you got to get out there. You got to move around. So this is
Exactly.
this has really shifted that. And you have such a warm personality. So I know people love to invite you out and love to have you come and share your music, as well as
Yes,
I know you love to minister too and get them
yes,
inspired about the Lord.
yes. And it's challenging when you can't have that one-on-one, that really uh in person one-on-one, So but God is good, and it's always about a change, Life is about a change, and this really is about a change now. But in the spiritual realm, it's always been that way. We just don't realize it in the spiritual realm, you know. And so when we bring that spiritual realm into our everyday life, that's pretty challenging to a lot of people. But it's not so challenging to me, because when I work, wherever I go, it's always internal. I'm thinking about, the Lord is on my mind, and how would He want me to do this, and how would I do that, So that spiritual realm is always there. But when you're doing it every day, even in your work environment, it's kind of different, and so you got to weigh it and, figure out how you're going to, move about in that particular area, mixing the spiritual realm into the reality.
Right, right.
Real time.
That's good. That's good. So you were blessed to grow up around music. You've always, your entire life has been around music. And so now getting to the point where you're releasing music yourself as an artist. Kind of talk about that. Do you reach back and think of some of those influences and some of the great things that you grew up around as you're putting your music together, as you're performing, as you're sharing? You reach back and think about that?
Yes, quite often, my father used to travel on the weekends a lot with his group back in the day, and so I wasn't there. So when he come home, when he would sing locally, we were there, but I would see him perform. The difference is the way they perform on stage back in the day is totally different of the way I do my thing. We do our thing, today. But the formula, the process was basically the same. And so I learned from that. When they would rehearse, they would rehearse straight up. It was no hours of rehearsal. That time frame was still there. The discipline was still there. You come to rehearsal prepared. You come to not just vocal rehearsal. And I had, it's so strange because back in the day they had choreography days, for rehearsal. I was, and it was so strange. So they didn't have singers on one singing on one day or something. They just do choreography. And you don't really think about those things until, you do your own thing. I said, no, so the choreographer come in and say, okay, we're going to do, today is choreography day. So as you know, so we're going to do this. Well, we may do some dance moves, or we may do this just to get our body ready, So those are things, you coordinate together. And I seen back then, I said, oh, I remember this. And I remember this. And they be very serious. What guys, they be more serious to me than females.
Yeah.
They be like, man, what's up? What you can't get this? What's up? You got 2 left feet. I remember hearing those things, and they be serious, I'll be like, wow. So when I begin to do them all, I understand the seriousness, because time is of an essence. Hey, because we do have a life. So let's go.
Mm-hmm. But see, it's good that you have that background, because so many new artists don't realize that, and so they just feel like, I can sing. So as long as I can just stand up there and sing, they don't really concern themselves with their movement, or they don't even sometimes practice. It's just kind of,
that's true.
I can sing, so I'm just gonna get up here and sing. So it's good that you have that background, and so you understand being prepared, and that's why it comes across on stage for you. People see that you've put some heart and some passion behind it, and people love and respect that. That makes all the difference.
Yes, ma'am.
And we got to talk about this song, Time After Time. Time after time. So somebody who hasn't heard the song, they hear that and they automatically think they know I know what she's talking about. No. I want you to talk a little bit about this song. What does Time After Time mean?
time after time is just totally letting people know. You try to mix the word in with it, of course, because you want to educate at the same time, because we are supposed to be teachers, of the word. But simultaneously, you just letting people know that God is going to be with you over and over and over again. He said he'd never leave you alone. So you take those little things you take for granted. You say, wow, I'm glad that happened. I didn't know what's going to happen when I went into had to walk the red carpet, when he called into your office and you praying on your way there. You say, I don't know what did the Papa Lord go with me, letting me have supernatural favor, and little things like that, your everyday things, in life, you have a child, you don't know first time you have a child, you don't know, okay, you have an idea how you're going to raise it, but God is always there to give you wisdom, to give you favor, time after time after time. He's the same God that was there yesterday, many, many years ago, thousands of years ago. He's the same God then and the same God today, and he's going to be the same God tomorrow.
That's it. That's it. And it's so perfect for right now, because so many people are going through so many challenges in their mind because of the pandemic, because they aren't able to move around, because they can't do what they normally do. People are really, I'm telling you, I've heard some testimonies, people are really, really stressing out. So it's good that you have a song like this that just reminds us. Time after time God has brought you through, he'll bring you through this.
Remember, he was wounded for our transgression. And you got another thing you got to remember is he's the Prince of Peace. So when you start thinking crazy, so I got to get out of this house, walk around your house and thank the Lord for that house.
Right.
But you don't have to have a house.
Right.
See how he supply all of your needs according to his riches and glory. So, when you start thinking crazy, believe me, we all have been there. The day is a special day. So I go get me some cool water, some cold water. But that's me. Right. And I know people have their own, way of, relaxing themselves. But for me, I go get me some cool water, and I enjoy reading God's word. I enjoy reading what other people have to say about God's word. He say, read and show yourself approval. And I research other people, because everybody got something to say. God got a message through each and every one of us. So time after time, today is my message to say, don't worry about a thing. He's not going to take us all out. We all got a time, and we all got a duty that we have to do. So he'll be with us today, tomorrow, and ongoing.
That's good.
He's not going to let us down.
That's it. That's it. That's some good encouragement. That's why I wanted to chat with you today, because I knew you was going to bless the people. I knew it. Let's do this. I want you to tell everybody how they can connect with you online, how they can support the music, because again, this song can be very impactful right now.
Oh, anytime. You can reach me at veronicabrown.com. You can reach Time After Time, available on your favorite digital retailer. You can go to veronicabrown.org. I'm sorry, not that veronicabrown.org. But you can get Time After Time available at every digital outlet, anytime. So Veronica Brown, you want to have a question? You want a word of prayer? Go to veronicabrown.org and I'll be right there. If you email me, I may not email you right back, but I'll get right back to you.
Perfect. And of course, we'll be able to get around in the country pretty soon and go and fellowship with one another once again. So when we can do that, we definitely want to make sure we're connected with you and inviting you out. But
I would love to. Please call me if you need something. Let me know.
Yes. Thank you again for spending this time with me. And we are honored again to support the new music. Y'all, let's get into it. This is Veronica Brown. It's the brand new single, Time After Time.